All right, we're in Menachot Perek Vav, Mishnah Vav, 6th Mishnah, and the 6th chapter of Masechet Menachot. We're now, the Mishnah turns to sifting yields. Okay, so because when they would sift, we're going to see they would sift it very finely. So how much grain did they need in order to produce each korban? So we're going to talk about 3 korban. We're going to talk about the Omer, the korban ha'omer that was brought on Pesach, and that was brought. Let's go to our chart for a second. We're going to 3 korban. The Omer was brought from Se'orim, from barley, and it was brought from new barley. That's the nature of the korban omer. It's chadash. Then we're going to talk about the shtei halechem, the breads that were brought on Shmini Atzeret, that was brought from new wheat. I'm sorry, the shtei halechem was brought on Shavuot, and it was new wheat, because remember there was the beginning of the season, and then the lechem hapanim was brought from old wheat. Oh, and then we're going to see that this has a big influence. Just focus on this for now, okay? This has important influence on the yield that they would have. So that's the Mishnah. Omer haya ba isaron mishalosh se'in, an isaron from 3 se'in. So in order to understand that, you have to know shalosh se'in is an ephah. Okay, we're going to see how much that is in a second. V'tochanim oto, they would grind it. Uminifim oto b'nafesh shalosh pa'amim, and they would sift it 13 times. Ad shema amidim solto, until you get to the fine flour of an isaron, which is 1/10 of an ephah. Okay, so now, in order to understand all this, you need to do a little bit of halachic volumes. Okay, so you start with an egg. I can do that. Okay, there are 6 eggs in every log. There are 4 logs in every kav. There are 3 kavin in every hin, 2 se'ah in every two hin in every se'ah, and 3 se'ah in every ephah. Okay, and what you need to know for our purposes is that an isaron is 1/10 of an ephah. Okay, so if you have 432 eggs in an ephah, 1/10 of that is 43 eggs. Okay, I got all this just so you know. There's an awesome Wikipedia Rishimat Midot Shirim. So I copied all this from Wikipedia. They're more interested in the volumes, but for our purposes, we don't need that. We need to know for our purposes ratios. Okay, because how much is each ratio? 1/10 of an ephah. Okay, so isaron is 1/10 of an ephah. You need an isaron of solid. The Torah says you need 1/10 of an ephah. So how much did you have to begin with? How much produce did they need to start with in order to get 1/10 of an ephah? So now when we understand that, let's go back to our Mishnah. It's a little bit challenging. So now so for the Omer, to get the isaron that they needed, they had to have shalosh se'im. They have to have 3 se'ah. So let's look at the ratio for a second. 3 se'ah, okay, 3 se'ah is one ephah. Okay, 3 se'ah exactly 1 ephah. So therefore, and to get an isaron that they needed to have, which is 1/10 of an ephah, they had to start with an entire ephah. So it was a 10-to-1 ratio. For every 10 ephah, for every 10 esronim, 10th of ephahs, they got 1. It's a 10-to-1 ratio. That's what the Mishnah says. Okay? Why do you need so much? 3 sorim. It's new barley. It had a lot of chaff. And very little flour. I mean, the first produce that you get is not as good, not as ripe. It's going to have more peel, more chaff, more fiber, and less of the nice, beautiful grain. Okay, so therefore it was a 1/10. That's the first thing the Mishnah says. Shtei halechem, for the shtei halechem, which was on Shavuot, shnei esronim mishalosh se'in. Then you get double. Okay, 3 se'in is 1 ephah. Okay, for every ephah they would get 2 esronim. Okay, so it was a 10-to-2 ratio. For every 10 esronim, for every 3 se'im, that's 10 esronim. That's 1 ephah. 10 tenths. In Israel is 1/10 of an ephah. So for every ephah, they would get, 2 se'im, shnei esronim. They would get 2 esronim. Now we got to the lechem hapanim. It gets a little complicated. Lechem hapanim, in the lechem hapanim, 24 esronim me 24 se'im. It was much more. So for every 24 esronim, which is every 8 ephah, right? Remember, there's 3, for every 24 esronim, okay? Which means 24 esronim is 3 se'ah, 3 ephah, 2.4 ephah. I'm going to stop here. I lost myself. Let's go back to the Mishnah. For every 24 se'ah, they would get 24 esronim. So let's go back to our chart. 24 sa'ah is 8 ephah. 8 ephah is 80 esronim. So for every 80 esronim, okay, they would get 24, which means they would get a ratio of 2.4 for every 8. You mathematicians can figure out, I think I did this pretty well. So that's much more. 2.4 to 8 is about, multiply it to get to the 10, it's about 3 for every 10. So it's much more. And why is that? Because that was chitim yishanim b'sedavar tenura. Kevin the chitim atu u'mitibua yishana comes from older grain. Nafik isaron muvchar misa'ah. You would get a better isaron from each sa'ah, much more. So that's what the Mishnah is trying to say, that the different kinds of grain that you were using would yield much better yields as the year went along. I'll stop here. I hope the math isn't too complicated. If I made a mistake, which is altogether possible, email me at rsvolter@gmail.com. We'll dedicate our learning to memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.